Do your own research and due diligence before investing in any company. The information I provide is in no way or manner a professional suggestion to purchase shares in any publicly traded company. I am not licensed to provide financial advice, and this should be considered entertainment. These stock profiles are intended to be trading ideas, a starting point for research. Any individual who chooses to invest in any securities should do so with caution. Investing in securities is speculative and carries a high degree of risk. You may lose some or all the money that is invested. Always research your own investments and consider consulting with a registered investment advisor or a licensed stockbroker before investing.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, of course, never risk more than you can afford to lose. To start the show off with that saying all the time. In fact, I started off the show with the wrong beat, but I'm going to rock to it. What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Sal back in the building, man. And, we talked about what's going to be the stock of the day. And sure enough, man, look, I start off the show with naming it called When It's Not Fun Anymore. Because now you're going to have to start doing some real trading now. Okay? There's going to have to be some real trading done anymore. Not riding anything. Okay? Now it's actually, you're going to have to pull up the FinViz, go into your broker's, screener, and find something that, will hopefully go in the direction that you want it to go. No more running now. What's going on, everybody? Bruce Cole, Tristan, what's going on? Money Stay Woke, Tyson Bats. Yes, indeed, ladies and gentlemen. We are back at it. Thank you for joining me here on the show. Let's go ahead and get the show started here. And ladies and gentlemen, obviously, first things first. AKAO. Now, we had mentioned what's going on. Select Start, Job Warrior, Mag 3690, Anthony Smith. What's up? What's going on? RW Perry, Astral Consciousness. What's good, man? You said the show will start in 8 minutes? No, we're on live right now, man. We are live right now. And yes, indeed, ladies and gentlemen, AKAO. On yesterday's episode, we said that was going to be today's stock. And sure enough, AKAO, not only did the stock, let me look at this is the one-day chart. As I've said that several times. I don't even bother trading the first 30 minutes of the day. These orders get filled, and all of a sudden, when these orders get filled, it got to almost a high of what, 1521. I mean, can you imagine somebody putting in an order at 1521? So somebody put an order to fill at that, that high, and they were a big loser. Not even 10 minutes later, after the stock crashed all the way down to 12, found some support though. And those lines, we had made that up yesterday. We made those up yesterday as we talked about AKAO. And sure enough, man, after the first 30 minutes on AKAO, if you bought the stock and you held it, you were golden. You were in the money. If you bought AKO after the first 30 minutes, you were in the money. No better place to be. That's why I don't even touch a stock the first 30 minutes. I'm not supposed to. And it works better for me every single time when I don't touch it within the first 30 minutes. And you start to really get an idea of where the stock is going. And more than likely, you're going to get it at a really great price. You're going to get it at a really, really great price. I mean, this is where if you would have left it, 10.30, this has been a beautiful entry price for the stock. You were green very, very, very soon. Very, very, very soon. All right. AKAO. Nice move today. Higher price stock, obviously higher price stock. And there are, don't believe there are any options on it. So obviously the real move was probably the day before. But For those of you guys who did play it, even for a couple thousand, I saw a lot of green being posted there on Twitter today. We talked last night about apps in the green today. Apps in the green today. Continuing, I've said swinging apps would be a favorable thing to do right now based on the trend that we've seen started here on the 8th, when the stock kind of seemed to came alive and found some real serious support there at 56 cents. Some real serious support there at 56 cents. So I'm riding apps right now, and all I'm looking for right now is about 80.81. If I can get 80.81 cents, that'll be a good return for me. 80.81 cents on apps. So we'll see what happens on apps moving forward. Decent volume, over 500,000 shares traded today. Looks like there was definitely some entries, some people seeing something in the chart that I see as well. Although I think we could probably test this 90 cents. It could be a possibility. Right now I'm looking for confirmation. So once we get to 80.81, then we can talk about whether or not there's still some strength there to add to the position. But I like, give me 6 cents here. Give me 6 cents a share here. I think that's very, very possible in apps. That's very, very possible in apps. And I think we got the strength to move in our direction. What's going on, Connie? Yes, indeed, ladies and gentlemen. I think there's some strength there in apps moving forward for a possible touch there at 80. And if there's some strength, see where the volume is at that time, then we can talk about possibly, going higher. But it's going to have to successfully break out of that 80 wall. As we can see here, it found some support, traded on there for it looks like a day or two. So some people may not even say that's a serious resistance point, but I think it could be. I think it could be. All right, and that's apps. One of our old friends, CETX, made it on the biggest gainer list today. CETX, huge runner during the summer. If you guys were watching the show during the summer, you guys know CETX was one of our favorites back in the summer. Really broke through a lot of resistance and price levels, and it played very, very well up until the high sixes, actually the mid to low sixes, eventually settling back down. So big gain today on CETX. This was a company that came out and said that they were going to do a huge stock buyback. This was a couple months ago. They did one, but I don't remember hearing about anything else. And looks like yesterday some news came out that the board had approved some subscription rights being transferred, announces dates for upcoming subscription rights offering. Upcoming subscription rights. I'm not familiar with what that means when we talk about subscription rights. I'm going to have to read up into that, because that news really caught me off guard. I had took my alerts on CETX off that stock long time ago. So CETX one to watch now. U.S. Energy, U.S. Energy. This was an interesting one because I wasn't sure what moved that higher. Thank you for bringing up U.S. Energy, because this really caught me off guard, because one, it was in the middle of the day, and two, I couldn't find it as it was running. I couldn't find the catalyst. So Richie, if you want to tell me what it was, huge gain. Huge gain. Huge gain for the stock. I love it. Let me play that one more time. Huge gain. USEG. And this is kind of one of those dead spikers that just kind of shows up out of nowhere. You can't even, who could have saw this? Who could have saw this coming? Who could have saw this coming? Look at that trend. Who could have told? Now, I see it's got some spikeability here, as what Tim Sykes would say. It looks like we see these spikes within the trend. which are coming practically almost every 6 months. So it's not even something that's, you know, constant, but it does happen. And sure enough, the stock kind of gives back after every single one of them. So obviously USEG, not sure the strength of this news, but once this news, obviously good news becomes old news, USEG will be a great short tomorrow. All right, 62%, you got to give some of that back. You got to give some of that back. So USEG definitely going to be the stock to, you know, to short tomorrow, as was ESSI today. That was a beautiful short for me today. ESSI, kind of scary though. Kind of scary. And for those of you guys who don't know how to short, you're going to have to learn. You're going to have to learn because, you know, these stocks are getting pretty fat now. They're getting pretty fat now. We're in wacky territory for a lot of stocks right now. I mean, complete wacky territory. Companies that are, you know, losing money hand and fist are, you know, trading $4, $5, $6, $7 above their price targets. You know, that the market will correct itself. When that's going to come, I can't, you know, I can't tell. I can't tell, but the market will correct itself. ESSI, this is the scam we discussed yesterday. I tried to, you know, let the world know about it on Twitter. Tweeted a couple, you know, things about it, but, you know, obviously you still had some suckers who believe this stock is worth $3. Had some people buying into it. ESSI still above $3. Still a great short because we know this stock, ESSI, has not made a dollar since they began. They have not made a single dollar, but it's still up there. It's still up there. Got a couple scams out there just like that. I'm not going to spend too much time talking about them. We know who they are. What's that? AXIM. The AXIM scam continues. The AXIM scam continues. In fact, they actually caught some people short here. As you can see, the stock, you know, caught some people short. AXIM still gapping, you know, moving higher. Besides the fact the company made what I think was $1,700 or some crap like that. It's absolutely ridiculous. JAGX. Yeah, Tyson Batts. I've always said JAGX was a scam. I've been a big believer that JAGX was a scam. And this was another great short today. Another great short today, JAGX. You know, they regularly do these little pump and dumps. And there was news just, you know, a day or two ago with on Market Watch. If I can find that article, I'm sure some of you guys have read it already. With the two guys that got caught pumping stocks. I mean, they weren't stock proponents, but what they were basically doing was they were wash trading, literally getting dozens of accounts and accounts and family members' names and doing buy and sell orders, creating false volume in very low float stocks so that people would turn around and look and say, hey, what's going on over there? And jump into the trade, and they turn around and dump on them. All right, they turn around and dump on it. I'm sure somebody can find that article and put it in the chat room. It's out there. It was on there yesterday on Market Watch. It's out there. All right, it's out there somewhere. Any bounce for OPHT? If it was going to be a bounce in OPHT, it was going to come today. When what's his name? The so-called bad boy of pharma. I mean, he pretty much made fun of the stock the other day. You can't even see it. It's so freaking dead. Look at that. I mean, it's just so. I can't even, you know. It's just, you know, the chart is just not even behaving. It's so damn flat. Let me go ahead and extend the time out. Let me see if we can extend the time out a little bit better. If we can see it. No, it doesn't even do it justice. Let me see here. What does a 5-minute chart look like on it? Yeah, see, even a 5-minute chart makes it look like shit. I mean, no, you know, if that was going to happen, that would have happened today. If that was going to happen, that was going to happen today on OPHT. If that was going to happen, and unfortunately, it didn't happen, and I don't think it's going to. I don't think it's going to. I think OPHT, You're going to be seeing OPHT possibly go into the 4s, the 3s, maybe the 2s. You know, I don't see that happening. When I read up on some of the articles talking about the expectations for this were very, very high. Very, very high. All right. Did find some support there, you know, later on in the day, which is interestingly enough, you know, he had some buys coming in there. The band's tightening up toward the end of the day, but you know, I think it's a mess, man. I think it's personally a mess. CHIT hit the 1 cent mark today. It touched it. Well, you're saying it's going to hit 1 cent? CHIT, I mean, this secondary run here that it's having, because you guys remember it had a run last week, CHIT, 99% trade. Around the world, good call for you if you shorted that. It had a run last week. So CHIT, the oil and gas play. Again, I mean, does this company actually have legitimate operations? That's my frustration with OTC markets now, and I'm you know, honestly, I'm not even like looking at these stocks anymore. You know, if the, you know, I'm not even really looking at these stocks anymore because it's so blatantly retarded now. They're not even trying to, you know, look like they actually want to, you know, create a business. You know, it's just to sell stocks. Now, some people say, well, it's always been like that. Well, I mean, not necessarily. I mean, you had some companies that are really out here trying to make it happen, but now on the OTCs, you know, the only stocks that aren't scams are the companies in bankruptcy that are forced to trade over the counter. The rest of them are clearly scams. So I'm not going to spend too much time on BPMX. I'm in on CHIT. You know, because just the little glance I'm doing here is clearly already looking like a scam. Look at that. $27,000 in revenue. Cost of goods $19,000 for a gross profit. A gross profit for the first 5 months of 2016. CHIT. All right, CHIT, a company that's now trading at about a $2 million valuation. Gross profit for 5 months of doing business was $7,900. I mean, what kind of fucking scam is that? But people will buy this shit. Well, people will buy this shit. BPMX, 40 cents a share, 4% gain today. I'm not a big fan of bios anymore unless they just break out like AKAO did. I mean, if they do that on some great news, play it. Please, by all means, play. Play. Thank you, Tyson Batts. VCEL, FDA, appreciate the news. VECL or VCEL, Biopharma, FDA approves first autologous. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. First autologous cellularized scaffold for the repair of cartilage defects of the knee. I'm guessing this is some kind of like skin, right? The cell-created skin. You know, that kind of goes back into that whole, like, you know, idea of creating skin within these tubes. So FCEL, after hours FDA approval. FDA approval on VCEL. On the up and up, Tyson Batts. I like that price starting at 260. I like that price starting at 260. All right. 90-day chart doesn't look too bad. I like starting at these low numbers. I love FDA announcements on stocks like this. You know, these little nano cap companies that trading for, you know, little or nothing. These are big deals for this company. It's a big deal. All right. And this is where you get those AKAO moves. You know what I mean? Where you get 120, 130%. Okay. So be very, yeah, look, definitely VCEL is going to be on our list tomorrow. Among some other stocks I want to talk to you guys about, because again, you're going to have to learn how to short sell in the next coming weeks. Learning how to short sell, you should already be doing this, honestly. It's going to become very, very important, because I got some interesting stocks that, I think probably have a few more days of green. So you might be able to jump on some of these that I'm going to show you guys in the show, that I did some research on today. We're going to talk a little bit about, not necessarily the financials, but, just clear chart plays. I mean, these are beautiful, beautiful chart plays that have been running 4 or 5 days, 7 days, 2 weeks in a row. I mean, just absolutely beautiful stocks that now that all the catalysts, the things that are running on news and hype are gone, these established companies that we've all forgotten about are looking really, really good here. Although they're fat, they're looking pretty good here. ABCE hit the 52-week low. Turnaround. Shun Mosley. What makes you think that? What makes you think that here? All right, still, very scattered buying in the stock. Look, 171 million shares traded. I think it's got, what's the float on this? I think the float is ridiculous. Isn't the float like 2 billion or some shit like that? It's like 2 billion shares or something. I mean, it's crazy. So what makes you think this is going to move higher? ABCE. Don't get me wrong. Abaco is actually a company that actually has something going. Last time I checked the chart anyway. Let me make sure that before I stand corrected. Abaco Energy. All right. Well, so, okay, the float says 9 million shares, which is complete bullshit because the stock traded 171 million today. So, obviously, we'd be talking a stock that was up 3,000, 4,000% if that was really the case. But, yeah, ABCO Energy is your typical, OTC company. But it's got some decent revenue. I mean, almost more than $250,000 last year. Down significantly for 2016. So I want to know what assets did they get rid of. But ABCE at these prices, though, it's actually not too bad. I would swing at these prices, ABCE, just because the volume is there, and I do see some buying here. I think it's pretty safe at these prices. If you still want to play the pennies. APHB, Amplify Biosciences, up 11% today on what? Who knows? I see a favorable announcement on phase 1 data from about a week ago. Other than that, I don't see any other news. Obviously, this is, a week ago that did something to the stock. Not sure what justified the move today, because I don't see any news based on that one. I mean, you guys are talking about OPHT. I don't. Again, we looked at the chart. I don't see anything in it. The bands are crazy on it. There's an incredible amount of selling. You're talking about, what is this? This was like a 70% move to the downside. It was a huge red day. I mean, can you imagine you had somebody with 1 million, 2 million shares in this, and then they're completely worthless when the news breaks? I feel sorry for that person. But I do say a toast. In fact, I'll give a yodel to the guy who had the inside tip that drug failed. Because there's always one guy. Actually, it's a couple guys, because one guy tells a couple other guys who tells other couple guys who know how to keep a secret. IDDR OTC stock, 172%. Who pumped this? Who pumped this up? IDDR. Yeah, Nick Flips, huge return. Who pumped this up? Nice return. 172%. IDR awarded a national contract. Let's see, is this contract legit though? I'm just taking a look at it real quick. National Rural Electric Cooperative Association, based in Arlington, Virginia. I guess they represent 900 plus consumer operated electronic co-ops, which provide services to 42 million. I'm not familiar with co-ops, but I do know they're like basically small town rip-off electric companies, aren't they? Which buy energy from a major provider within the state and then sell them rurally. So, personally, I think they're all rip-offs. You guys know how I feel about power. I just think we really have a communist way of doing power in America. IDR, I mean, we'll see what happens tomorrow on that, man, but that's a huge move for anybody who's in the stock today. I mean, to wake up in the morning and know your shares just exploded 172%, that's good for anybody. More Piece, you said you watched it. Inside Financial was on it. Yeah, Inside Financial, they've been some good pumpers, man. They've had a few ones that were duds, but Inside Financial has been, that hot ticket, man. Shout out to Inside Financial. Inside Financial, and you guys can, sign up for their newsletter. And, it's returns like this that get people to buy. So, this is only going to get better for them. IDDR. This is only going to get better for Inside Financial. So imagine what they did today, and their next pump is going to be incredible too, because this is all going to, culminate to more people signing up and being a part of the next Inside Financial pump. All because the news itself is relatively weak. I mean, the news it's relatively weak. There's no data. There's no money. So great pump by them. We talked about BPMX, GLF Golf Offshore Mark, and is this another run on? Where's oil at? I followed USO, and I maybe I bought a little bit too far. I got some calls on USO. I got some $13 calls on USO for the 23rd. They were going for a penny. They were going for a penny. So I loaded up on some contracts for USO. They're going for 2 pennies now. They've already doubled. They're going for 2 pennies now for USO to reach 13 by the 23rd, which I don't know. I'm not sure on that. But, oil still looks really nice. It's holding up really nice. But crude is down now about 1%. So we'll see. We'll see. And USO is kind of a laggard when we talked about, running with these higher prices. So we'll see. Inside Financial. Nick Flips, you mean a link to what? Inside Financial? Yeah, let me go ahead and I see some people aren't seeing the let me see if I can get one moment. Let me see if I can get the link to Inside Financial. Yeah, because I think you can't just Google them. Obviously, there are tons of companies. Let me see here. Their website is, and they've already got a new pump. They've already got a new pump for tomorrow. Jeez, these guys don't stop, man. Oh, no, it's literally insiderfinancial.com. Okay. But for whatever reason, it doesn't Google. Let me put it in the chat room, though. Insiderfinancial.com. I mean, they're the new kid on the block right now. I mean, they're not even really new. They've been around, but they're hot right now, man. Their pumps are hot right now. They've got a hot list because when it comes to pump and dumps, it's all about your list, and your list is the people who are on your list. Are they buyers? And they've got buyers on their list, man. People who buy penny stocks, and it is what it is right now. So until their list gets tired, they're going to keep coming at them. Boom. One after another. They're just going to keep going. They're going to keep going. Now, when we look at GLF, again, I've been trying to find the news here. I haven't seen what's responsible for this. And this could be, again, running on higher gas prices, as we can see here. It looks like it really didn't do anything. Didn't really do anything, last week, which was a lot of news came out on the OPEC deal. The stock didn't really respond to the news of the OPEC situation. As you see, the OPEC deal was kind of signed last week. I want to say the 8th or the 9th. The stock made no significant move. So this was kind of a delayed reaction in GLF, oil-related equipment company. So this is kind of a little bit of a delayed reaction here on GLF. Whether it has some opportunities to move forward, you know, that, let me see the 3-month. I don't see, you know, the trend is very, very bearish, man. This is a 1-year chart here. Very bearish trend. So I'm not a believer that this, you know, this 35% move higher is somehow some kind of break in this trend. It's very bearish, has been very bearish since August. And I expect this to pull back and give back just because I'm looking at the trend. It doesn't support the idea of this stock staying above and rising on this move here. So possibly a really good short tomorrow for somebody, especially at 2:30. New York Stock Exchange Company. I mean, the shorters are going to be all over this tomorrow. $2.30 a share. You can grab a ton of this and, you know, profit really, really good on this. I'm expecting probably a 10% red day for this stock. Probably even higher. All right. In fact, I'm going to write the stock down myself. I'm going to look at that thing tomorrow as a good opportunity for a short besides ESSI. All right. PTN still looking good for, what's going on, Michael Greer? It's been a minute since you've been in the chat room, Michael Greer. I don't know if you've been watching or not, but it's been a minute since you've been in here, Michael Greer. Shout out to Michael Greer in here. Yes, indeed. It's been a minute. PTN looking good. PTN down 3% today. I'm guessing you're probably looking at it on the oversold. What makes you think that PTN closes on? I mean, they recently got some financing just, you know, a week and a half ago. $16.5 million in financing. Canaccord Genuity, which was interesting, you know, the sole book running manager on the deal, on that public offering, which the market really, really didn't like. My thing is, though, you know, Michael Greer, that companies that are looking to sell out, they don't typically, you know, or sell their company, don't typically, you know, do an offering if that's on the horizon. You know, they don't look to dilute or, you know, move in that kind of way. So if you have any other kind of information to, you know, what makes you feel that's a strong likelihood, let me know. I had marked 71 cents as the breakout from a while ago, and it's just never, you know, until it crosses that and stays above that, you know, PTN has been one I just won't even bother to look at. I've always thought that 71 that I marked there weeks ago was, you know, where it needs to be. Where it needs to be. Let me see here. NDEV, yeah, NDEV, good move on NDEV. You know, NDEV was interesting because I know I talked a lot of shit about this stock NDEV. And look, it's you know, it's been about a month since it's done something similar. You know, when I look at NDEV, I mean, just see what it did the last time it ran that hard. You know, can it stay up there? Can it stay up there? And you know, and just looking at the chart, you don't have to go too far back to see that it doesn't really do so. It doesn't really do so. So I'm not going to sit in front of the mic and tell people, hey, jump in this tomorrow when I can look, you know, just 30 days back as this chart expresses, and it lets me know that, you know, this should come back down if it does. If it does, because, you know, I can't see the future. Oh, INCT has been a great run, Bad Brad. I mean, INCT has been one that, you know, I brought up here that I just don't like the fact that the volume all of a sudden showed up today. Isn't that funny? We've been talking about INCT, you know, a couple minutes here and there, and INCT, all of a sudden the volume shows up today. I don't want to say I was responsible for that, but You know, INCT, let me look at the 5-day. All of a sudden, it got kind of funny today with INCT. 500,000 shares traded today, which some of that was a lot of selling. I mean, you know, and you should expect that at this point in INCT. You got a lot of people, you know, who took some risk early in the month, you know, and bought some large positions, and they're liquidating. They're liquidating on these new buyers coming into the stock. Now, you just hope that, you know, the selling doesn't continue here. It doesn't continue here, but I think now you've got to pay a little attention to this now, because, I mean, every time the stock attempted to get back to 56, you know, you had a huge dump. You had some huge dumping going on here. I mean, big old blocks. These are some big blocks being dumped here. All right. And, you know, the stock still needs some more volume. I'd love to see maybe it get to about a million and a half. But I think tomorrow and the rest of the week is going to be very interesting for INCT, because it's pretty much been, you know, straight, what, 11, 12 days of green. 11, 12 days of green. All right. So NDEV, you know, Kelly Jones, NDEV, I would look at that tomorrow. If you're already in, I would possibly, if I were you, take your gains in NDEV based on what we saw in the chart. If you're somebody standing on the sidelines for NDEV, you know, I think, you know, you know, if you just really believe, and then this is the chart here. It's been, I mean, it's been a beautiful 4 days in the stock. Beautiful 4 days in the stock. But if you're a believer here, maybe, you know, try and see if you can get it cheaper tomorrow. You know, maybe you can test 45 again. Test that 45 support line, get in a little bit cheaper. I'm not saying it's not going to run. I'm just saying, you know, try and see if you can get a deal for yourself here. You know, even if I'm going into a stock that's been running great, I still want to try and get a discount on the run. I still want to buy on the dip. You know, I still want to find a deal. I still want to find a deal. So, yeah, NDEV, you know, looks beautiful. Looks beautiful when you know, this 5-day chart is absolutely beautiful. I mean, it's a beautiful 5-day chart here. But, you know, we know that, again, stocks are about primary trends, intermediate trends, and secondary trends. And I've got to look at that primary trend to make a judgment for myself. And this is what it's been doing since October. Spread that chart out a little bit. All right, and see where we are. So now, looking at where we are in NDEV, I'm kind of high up there. I'm kind of high up there. But by all means, it's a pump, and play the pump. All right. You're going to do what you want to do at the end of the day. TRTC, 4%, 27 cents. You know, the thing about, you know, marijuana at the end of the day, man, you know, now it's all about, you're either going to go long or not. You're either going to go long or not, man. I mean, you know, the whole, those days of sitting in marijuana stocks and 2 days from now, 3 days ago now, walking away with 20%, 35, 40, 50%, I think those are gone, man. I think those are gone. You know, you're either long some of these stocks or not. You know, you're doing some real research. You know, are they, you know, getting their licenses? Are they, you know, do they actually have a storefront? Do they, you know, where are they in the, you know, in the whole process of taking advantage of what happened on November 8th? Florida opening up, Nevada opening up, you know, California opening up. Where are they in the process of taking advantage of this new business? And then making your purchases now, and then waiting, you know, for the market to respond accordingly. I think that's where you are right now when you talk about marijuana stocks. I don't, you know, the short-term investing in marijuana is long gone. It's long gone. So you're either going to find something you believe in or not. You know. So let's get to MC3 hooks. Let me see. ONVO. ONVO, 11% gain, biotech play. All right, so this is looks like a presentation at a, this is really interesting to see how some of these pharma will move on, even on presentation data. So-and-so company is going to present this and this at so-and-so, meeting. And then they run on that. They run on that. So I want to put some stocks in here that are quite fat right now, and I want to bring them to your attention. These are companies that are quite fat right now, and they may have a couple days left. They may have a couple days left. Whether or not interest rates do move higher tomorrow, supposedly they're supposed to move higher tomorrow. Can anybody verify that? Is it really going to happen tomorrow or not? I'm not sure if it's really going to happen tomorrow or not, but moving forward, let's talk about some stocks that are really, really fat, that have been running really, really well, and could lose on this Fed rate hike. One of them is FPO. FPO has been one of these Trump runners, and those are primarily the stocks that I'm looking for to short. Are these stocks that have been really up really aggressively since the election of Donald Trump, and not necessarily any tangible data that we can look at to justify the move. FPO has been a stock that's gained almost $2.45 since November 8th. And FPO, this is a realty company, which is really interesting because they own, it's a commercial realty company. Cash fat. Yes, it is. It's cash fat, but at the end of the day, we know how interest rates do affect borrowing and their ability to do business. All right. So this will increase the cost of financing for them if they decide to go out and get any new financing. And saw a little bit of a roof developing there at 1060 yesterday. That 1060 was interesting. It attempted to do it this morning, didn't make it on the move higher in the morning. Tried to find some support there. In fact, let's get a little closer into it. Get a little closer. So obviously here's the the kind of drop down today to open the first 30 minutes. I don't like the first 30 minutes because it's so dangerous. You can get caught up in here. But it found some support, tried to move higher today. But at the end of the day, I think FPL and these stocks that I'm going to continue to talk about are going to be these stocks that I think you guys, if you looking to short, if you're looking to short for the first time, or maybe you're someone who doesn't short too often, but you're looking for some winners. I think these stocks that are up high, overly aggressive, are going to be great opportunities for you to short. Okay. And yes, you can buying puts as well. Buying puts and Stock Junkie, yeah, man, you can buy some puts. I don't know if this has liquid options. I don't know if FPO has liquid options. I didn't check on that. This is a pure short. Down to 8, or probably not down to 8, but I can see this going to 9,950. Very possible on an aggressive cut. FPO. Moving on here, some other ones that are probably up. This has been a favorite of mine. Another stock that's been up overly aggressively, up almost 100% since November 8th. Genesis Healthcare. Genesis Healthcare now at 409. Green day today, barely sideways move. Today it's nice. It's still flagging there. I mean, I can see it's flagging really nicely today. So obviously it's still showing that it's probably got some opportunity for you to move higher. I'm not saying that for $55 is in its range, but I'm showing based on the trend here that you still probably got some room here. But Genesis Healthcare is another company that I believe is kind of overweight now, and we could be looking at this stock going into the red. But I do see some more days of green possibly in Genesis Healthcare. This has been on our list here a couple times here on the show. Since the election of Donald Trump. Genesis Healthcare, 409. Genesis Healthcare. All right, going through some companies with you guys. OCN Financials. All right, so this is not one of the big boys. And which is really interesting because this has been kind of running even before. In fact, you can track their running before the election, starting in fact and during the summer, But let me see here. The actual, let's see here. I got a little bit of top at 6. All right, increased volume really started to get aggressive. Particularly after the election, and I do see interest rates hurting this company too as well, just because it's been so hot and so consistent. But again, the trend is still very nice. This trend is still very nice, and you probably might have some room here. But this recent, pullback shows there could be some opportunities for some more profit taking here. I'm not saying it can go down to 5, but I'm going to continue to watch it. If I'm a shorter, I think maybe you can, find yourself getting $55 out of this. All right, I think a pullback is very healthy for this stock right now, based on what it's been doing for the last 6 months. I think a pullback is very reasonable. All right, so OCN, another stock to look at, and I got quite a few here, so I'm gonna go through the list, and hopefully you guys are writing it down. I think these, you're gonna be able to make some good money with these. All right, as these stocks get fat, we really got to, see a pullback is going to be very healthy. HOV, this is a residential home builder. Another one of these Trump winners. All right, that's been running crazy since the election. It's got to give some of this back. It's something you got to watch for. I love it. It's dirt cheap. You can buy a ton of it and make a great return on a collapse here. Obviously, I don't see it collapsing back to 150 where it was before the election, but at the end of the day, it's still a stock that a pullback would be very healthy right now, and a Fed rate cut could be that catalyst it needs to get a pullback back down to under $2 a share. So at 268 right now, 16 cents gain today alone. The high was 270, 52-week high was today. It's been hitting a 52-week high every single day since it took off practically. The 52-week high before it reached the 170 was, let me see, the 270 was, I want to say it was like the 180s or so. So it's been hitting those 52-week highs practically every day. All right, HOV. Let me see. Walter Investment Management Group. Now this one is a little bit harder for me to kind of figure out, because I don't know if maybe the collapse has already started today. Walter Investment Management Group down 11% today. This was a situation where the company's already been losing money, and it's hemorrhaging cash, but it has been running relatively aggressively again since the summer. And possibly another $2, possibly a $2 that could come out of that in Walter Investment Management Group. Again, do your research on it. But its losses today alone is what brought this to my attention. The stock was downgraded today by Keefe Bruyette. Not familiar with that investment bank, if it is an investment bank or a person. Keefe Bruyette. I don't know, do your research on that. But the company was downgraded today, and it did affect the stock severely, down 11%, which is really, really aggressive selling for this. So obviously, did somebody see something, or whoever that Keefe Bruyette or whatever that company is, obviously, made the right call there. All right, so WAC, another penny stock that could be getting some gains for you on the short side. WAC. This one, very familiar to me. This was the company that my first car loan was through. Santander Consumer Loans. They do personal and car loans for those people who have like bad credit or very iffy credit. Santander will probably write your loan. In fact, many of you guys who probably don't know, you have a loan probably through Santander, and many of its small subsidiaries. This is a stock that's really took off after strong earnings, which was early. What was that? November 9th. after a surprise on earnings, and again got really nice and fat. It's about $3 worth of value in it in over a month or so. So Santander Consumer Group, I think this is a company that could get hurt by an an interest rate increase. Can consumers are consumer sentiment right now is still relatively high. People are very excited about the markets, and I got another stock I want to show you guys. It's a higher price stock. But it's a really good judge of consumer sentiment, because when people think they're going to make money, they go out and get riskier loans, like these high interest car loans. And Santander is in the business of doing that. I think a rate cut here could be very detrimental to their business. And I think that to the downside, you can make some money going here. Obviously, higher price stock, $14 a share, $14 a share. So not the cheapest stock in the world, but again, is a gain. SOHO. Now, SOHO's Southerly Hotels, hotel business stock. This one too. This is another one of those Trump runners. All right, one of those Trump runners. Stock is up almost 70 something percent since election day. Sideways day to day. The volume isn't crazy in this. That's the only thing about this stock. Trades at about anywhere between 50 to about 100,000 shares a day. So don't go in too heavy on this one. I think it's perfect for someone like you and me, who's going to probably put in maybe 3, 4, 5, 6,000 a trade. You can get in and out no problem. All right, might be a slight delay on it, but you probably would want more volume, understandably so. But again, I just wanted to bring it to your attention, just because it's one of those stocks that's gotten really aggressive move. Real estate investment trust, hospitality company. All right, DRH. Diamond Rock Hospitality, another one very, very similar to SOHO, almost practically the similar chart. In fact, let's go ahead and compare these two real estate investment trusts, and they pretty much ran very similarly, don't you see? Look at that. I mean, you would think that they're the same company here. Let's make the second one a line. Spread that out a little bit. So both stocks, been running just beautifully since the election of Donald Trump. So yeah, a pullback on both of these could be very healthy. So we got DRH on the screen, as well as SOHO. SOHO being the significantly cheaper one, but both of them have been running pretty much like the same. Pretty much the same, wavelength to length. We got the DRHO with a little bit more momentum. Obviously, DRH has significantly more volume as well, too. Significantly more volume as well on DRH. All right. These are stocks to take a look at when they get fat, and they are fat right now. And again, I'm not saying short these tomorrow. I want to repeat myself. I'm not saying short these tomorrow. These are running great right now. I mean, these have been amazing swings for people for the last 30 days. So I'm just saying that a healthy pullback is coming, and you want to be able to see that coming by knowing, obviously, that these stocks are out there and taking advantage of them when you do see that momentum slowing down. All right. Okay, what else are we looking at? The other Apple stock. Now, sometimes when you're looking for Apple, you might accidentally pull this stock up. Apple Hospitality, Real Estate Investment Trust. Again, another stock that's been up really, really huge. Up almost $3 a share. And this could be in all intents and purposes, this could probably be an organic situation where the company was in a very, very bearish, very bearish move. Found the bottom, has been really working its way up since the bottom. So this could be a legit play here, where it's looking to break out of some some of that 19 at $20 ceiling there on this real estate investment trust. 1 million shares traded, so it's got some volumes. All right, about 1.6 million shares traded on an average day. And playing real estate investment trust is not for everybody, because they tend to move a little bit slower, but they're very stable. All right, they're very stable stocks to play. This is the 30 days. This is 30 days in the stock. All right, you're up $2 a share in APLE. All right, with no real serious pullback to see in the chart. So that could be happening soon. But again, I showed you guys the year chart. This could be a situation where it could be breaking out higher. Could be breaking out higher. All right. OCFC. OCFC, another financials, another one of these financials. Higher price stock, $27 a share, not the cheapest, but again, another stock that's just been on a tear, on an absolute tear. This stock is up almost $10 a share in the last 30 days alone. Almost $10 a share in the last 30 days alone. And again, as you can look at that, this 30-day chart, no real significant pullback, to be found there. So I mean, this, talk about green, 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 green. Beautiful. Look at that chart, man. That's a beautiful chart. Again, higher price, higher price stock, but beautiful, beautiful chart. Commercial banks have been really winning under the election of Donald Trump. But again, a Fed pullback could be the beginning of the end for a lot of these smaller players. All right. This one, market cap of about 700 million. So very, very small bank in comparison to the Bank of Americas of the world. All right. Although this is trading at a price higher, but they're incomparable in terms of size of companies. OCFC, $700 million valuation right now. That might be actually unjustified if we had pulled up the cash on hand and all the other fundamentals in the stock that you might want to really take a look at before you jump in here. You might want to take a look at. Ben, I didn't talk about that. I'll go into that in just a minute here. Let me finish this little presentation of these stocks I want to bring to the family's attention. TRI, again, more expensive stock. This probably has options on it. Not sure if they're liquid or not. But it could have options. Okay. And I want to start talking about these higher price stocks a little bit because, we're going to move into a situation where the more established companies are going to survive the downtrends a lot better. And when I say survive, I want to say maybe the word survive isn't better. They're going to trade the downtrend when that does happen a lot better than these smaller companies that we talk about constantly that are going to get people killed. They're going to get people killed. And that's why I want to introduce some of you guys to some of these higher price companies that will require you to, actually do a little bit more digging in terms of, how their businesses operate. Again, they're not penny stocks, and I'm not counting out penny stocks. I'm always going to love them, but I want to introduce some, larger cap companies that are going to allow us to be able to make gains through a rough patch that is coming. All right, that is coming. All right, so TRI, another fat stock. PCBK. This one is another commercial bank, smaller. This is smaller than OCFC. These commercial banks, these small little county banks, they're all fat, man. They're all fat and got a lot. For those of you guys who live near the country, a pig farmer, when the pigs get ready to, be sent to slaughter to the slaughterhouses, they're just fucking huge. They're absolutely big, and this is what, that's exactly what these stocks look like. Pigs ready to get slaughtered right now. They are fat. This one especially, over $4 a share since the election of Donald Trump. Big and fat. Pacific Continental Corp, PCBK, $20 a share. All right, $20 a share. BRS. All right, yeah, Mag, I'll post them. BRS, Bristow Group, oil and gas company. This one was interesting because this one was an oil play. This company, reading some of the news that was coming out about this company, there was a lot of hoo-ha about the company losing cash, but they ended up coming to earnings better than expected. All right, they weren't losing as much cash as people thought they were. That was a great catalyst moving into the election. And then, sure enough, the election and obviously higher gas prices have worked into the favor of BRS. So BRS might not necessarily be one of those companies that, is going to give it all back. But when you're talking about a stock that's up almost, practically almost 100%. In fact, let me look at the 6-month chart here. If we look at the 6-month chart, starting at the beginning of November, all right, so what was that? The earnings day came out 11/3. So 11/4, that's pretty much where the party started. At $10 a share, we're at $21 right now in BRS. $21 right now at BRS. So was a pullback a little bit at 15, found a floor and then kept going higher. I think a secondary pullback is necessary and could be coming anytime now. So for those of you guys who are looking to short, I think BRS is nice and fat for the taking. All right, nice and fat for the taking on BRS, Bristow Group. Up 105%. Up 105% in 30 days. Up 105% in 30 days. All right. Last but not least, AAN, Aaron's. Now, Aaron's, not the cheapest stock in the world. Look, $33 a share. Did beat on earnings. By 6%, which is really good, by the way. Now, earnings, can move a stock. We all know that. But we got to admit that, obviously, consumer sentiment about this economy, excitement about the economy, and the election probably had something to do with Aaron's right now. Okay, I think people are happy. They think that, that at the end of the day, they're expecting to make more money. They expect that they're going to have more jobs. And people go to places like Aaron's and Rent-A-Center and go out and, make those kind of purchases, which are some of the worst purchases you can make. I mean, going to places like Aaron's and Rent-A-Center, I mean, you're paying upwards of 70 to 80% markup, and plus the interest, and it's absolutely insane what people will pay for products that you can get for $400, and you walk into a Rent-A-Center and you just agreed to buy that same television for $1,100 or $1,200. I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous, the markup. But yeah, they're making a lot of money. Not a small company, $2.3 billion. But at the end of the day, if what I'm reading with the subprime car loans defaults are slowly creeping up there. I'm sure you guys have heard that a little bit. Subprime car loans. So that's why I got that Santander up there as well, not just for interest rate possible damage, but subprime car loans are increasing. The defaults are increasing. And let me tell you something right now. People who are struggling with their car loans, many of them, and they have subprime car loans, more than likely they're also the same kind of customer who would do business with Aaron's and Rent-A-Center. They're practically the same customer. So I'm putting myself in the head of somebody who's got a subprime car loan and has products from Aaron's or Rent-A-Center. Are you going to keep your car, or are you going to return this TV and this this furniture set? And I think you're probably going to get rid of the furniture set. All right. More than likely, you need that car to get to where you need to go, your job, So, and just basically on technicals as well. When you look at the chart on Aaron's, I mean, come on, $11 a share in 30 days. That's a lot of fat on this sucker, man. That's a lot of fat on this sucker. Aaron, AAN, $33 a share. So I hope you guys wrote that down. I will post that. I'll post it maybe at the end of the show here. Nice and fat, though, on Aaron's, AANN. Nice and fat. All right, so I hope you guys wrote that down. The PE is nice, though. Yeah, the PE is, $17, not $17, 17 times earnings on that PE. So it actually priced pretty accordingly. I'm just saying that the price is still $11 a share on 30 days. Fundamentals tell you that's and technicals tell you that's a little bit too much too soon. All right. RW said CODI is the next Berkshire Hathaway. Well, I mean, look, I'm if this is going to be the next Berkshire Hathaway, more power to them. But I'm telling you right now, I don't have 50 years to get rich. I've said that several times. I love Warren Buffett. I mean, I think he's incredible. He's a billionaire. But I don't want to be 82 years old and worth that much money. And you know, he made so much money in his later years. I mean, how do you really enjoy that at that age? I mean, how do you really enjoy that at that age? I want to be worth 50 million right now. I'm still in my 20s. I want to be worth 50 million right now. I want to be worth 100 million now. I want to be worth, you know, that now. Hell, maybe, okay, my 30s or my 40s. So if this is going to be the next Berkshire Hathaway, more power to them. But I don't have 55 years to wait till they get to $1,000 or $2,000 a share. I mean, I mean, if you agree with me, you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to get rich now, you know, while girls still find you attractive and not having sex with you because, you know, they feel pity for you or you got to pay them. SYRX. Let me see here. Yeah. This is the one that we talked about. You know, the little prayer of a stock here. Yeah, it's ugly, man. I'm good on that. I'm good on that. Yes, I will definitely do that. All right, so Connor, I see Connor in the chat room talking about some calls that went crazy today. Yeah, the big boys made some huge moves today. And look, Amazon, look, at the end of the day, Amazon, can we just admit that Amazon's a $1,000 share company? Like just this, like at this point, it doesn't even make sense to like argue that. I mean, this is a company that's really just on the brink of doing some amazing things. That pullback in August was absolutely retarded. I don't know what justified that one. That pullback in August was retarded. I mean, yes, earnings weren't the best. All right, earnings weren't the best, but did it really justify that? Almost $70 off the price. So Amazon looking to test. What is that? $7.95 on its way to trying to attempt to test $7.95, $7.92. I've been watching it. And we'll see what happens. And Amazon obviously, look, you're not buying the stock in this company, you're buying the option. All right. And by all means, if you can afford 10,000 shares of Amazon, please give me a call because we can do some business together. But yes, indeed, AMZN, huge move today in the stock, man. Huge move today in the stock. I'm sure you probably had some stocks 100, I mean some calls 100, 200, 300%. I would hate to be a guy who was in a put on Amazon today. I would hate to be the guy who bought a put yesterday in Amazon. I mean, I'm talking something huge too, like 50 calls or some shit like that after what happened today. All right. GILD, Guild Sciences, dollar a share today. Yeah, I mean when you're talking about trading with leverage, which is what options is. I mean, you're buying contracts like insurance contracts on stocks. Yeah, if the value moves up higher, your contract is to buy at that set price, which is significantly below where the stock is now, is going to be worth a lot more. It's going to be worth a lot more to the market. I've always wanted to know what's the percentage of these options that actually exercise, that are actually exercised. I mean, has anybody in here actually exercised their option before? I mean, because most people sell them. I mean, obviously to someone who they think is going to exercise the option. But I'd like to know what's the percentage of options that are actually exercised, Let's see here. Do these REITs pay a dividend? You're going to have to do some research on that, KDO. Not sure on that. But I do know, you don't want to short into some of those that do. PIP, okay, very nice, very positive trend here. I like that primary trend on PIP, and I love the way it's flagging like that. So it looks like it's probably got another stair left to climb on PIP. No movement today. Sideways day for PIP. Special cash dividend was announced about a month ago. PIP, ticker PIP. I'm going to put that on the list. So I want to see what that does. I want to see what that does tomorrow. I want to watch that myself. I actually do like the way that moved too on PIP. Yeah, not too bad. Not too bad. FMCC. I like the chart though. I mean, the chart looks beautiful. Federal Home Mortgage Corporation. Yeah, this. I mean, obviously, if an interest rate increase does happen, this is this is your clearly. You want to go down on this one. FMCC. FNMA too was a red day, I believe, too, for Fannie Mae. How do they run comparison to each other? I've always been interested in seeing. Let's see here. All right, so they pretty much run the same. In fact, those are the two charts right there. How they look on top of each other, and they're pretty much like almost the same. I mean, they right on top of each other. FNMA and FNMC or FCC and FMCC, excuse me. All right, $2.91 dividend on PIP. That's good. That's good. Fannie and Freddie. Yes, indeed. Potential bull flag in Amazon. So, Matthew Task and Connor, if you're still in the chat room, do you believe Amazon has another day? Do you believe that Amazon has another day? Because if that's the case, I mean, give us a tip right now on what call you would play for Amazon in the morning. Let me look at Amazon real quick, because if we have an opportunity to make some money here on a call on Amazon, and just looking at the one-day price here, obviously this is, something that moved quite aggressively in the morning, so you kind of had to jump in quick. Profit taken toward the end of the day, which is expected. Where's that 5-day of love? Oh, look at that beautiful flag on Amazon. Slight pullback toward the end of the day, which is understandable. But yeah, I mean, are we expecting to see another green day tomorrow on Amazon? Would you buy a call on Amazon? 10% of option contracts are exercised, 55 to 60. Okay, thank you, Ben. All right, are closed out prior to expiration. 30 to 35% expire worthless, out of the money with no intrinsic value. Okay, not bad. Only 10% of contracts are actually exercised. Wow, that is interesting. Use a spread if you're going to go long. Okay. If you're going to go long, use a spread. All right. So, I mean, so far it looks like Amazon and Connor, while you're in the chat room, do you see Amazon going higher? It's going to be interesting to see. Look, Amazon's got a nice chart. And if you don't like Amazon, for the continued move, I don't know, man. Looking at that chart, that end of the day sell-off there kind of got me thinking maybe a put option looks very good. A bullish on Amazon for the future. Okay. Obviously, yeah. I think for the long run, we're all going to be bullish on Amazon. But for tomorrow, I don't know what tomorrow, but bullish. Yeah, okay. Yeah. I'm all about Amazon 800. I mean, for sure, Amazon 800 is very possible and very likely. And those calls are getting higher and higher price when you look at Amazon 800, leaps or anything else, or monthlies. If you look at those Amazon monthlies, they are not getting any cheaper. That's for sure. But I can see it. I can see a put in Amazon tomorrow, man. Maybe we'll see what the morning looks like, right? We'll see what the morning looks like. Yeah, KDO. I was thinking too. Why not a 760? A 760 sounds good. 760 sounds good. Let's go even bolder, man. Go even bolder than that. I'll probably like an in the money put I would prefer an in the money put. I prefer an in the money put just to be on the safe side. But then again, you can lose on that too. You can lose on that too, obviously. PJE. Okay. What is this? Come on. Oh, no, I'm good on that one. Gregory Hall, PPJE. I'm good on that. Amazon Weeklies made a 300% move today. Jesus. 300% move today on Amazon. All right. Yeah, those will be coming down tomorrow though. I might sell those calls. We'll see what the morning looks like. Might sell those calls and buy those back cheaper. Depending on how long you held and which ones you played. Crazy money. Yeah. I believe it. Yeah, Taylor Stewart, you were reading my mind. Sell the calls. Sell the calls. Because that's where all the meat is, man. That's where all the meat is. You know, that's where all the meat is. All the implied volatility built into that move that happened today. All right. So besides that, otherwise, I mean, look, today was very uneventful on the small cap side. We had a few stocks here and there, but for the most part, we had stocks in the top 15 today that had gains of like 5%, man. So it's going to be time to start looking and learning on what these guys are doing, learning to play options, and then two, learning how to short, because you're going to have to find a company that's a small cap company that's very running well and could continue running well. And I like Genesis Healthcare, man. I like Genesis Healthcare. I think it's fat, but the fact of the matter is the way it's been hanging, the way it has. Let me see what it looks like on the 6-month chart. I like their business they're in. The residential long-term care business is, so far is only getting bigger, They're borderline profitable. They've got some things that they need to change, but they're borderline profitable. But Genesis Healthcare, the long term, I like this stock. I actually do. And this has been, again, it did jump up after the election, but the overall primary trend of the company is very healthy. It's very, very healthy. And I don't see going long here being a problem. So Genesis Healthcare, GEN, long stock of the day today. All right. OPGN. Well, I mean, look, you're gonna have one or two of those, but other than that, I mean, stock was garbage, man. It was like one, didn't do anything. It was it was a dud. Who benefited off that? Who benefited off that? OPGN. Who benefited off that? I mean, this is horrible. You got a lot of people who get scammed into this bullshit, man. Look at that. You want to talk about, people talk about the stocks that I sell, that I used to pump or pump and dumps. This is a pump and dump. This is a pump and dump. That's how a pump and dump looks like. For those of you guys who've never seen what a real pump and dump looks like, that is what a classic one-day pump and dump looks like. Somebody bought into that huge and got dumped on. Look at that. That's a disaster. That is a disaster. And if only I could have seen that. I mean, this is $1 million short right here, man. This is something that you leverage every cent of your account. You're at SureTrader. You got 5,000 in there. You got 10,000. You got 15,000. You go grab every cent of leverage they're willing you to offer and just set it and forget it. And you walk back into that room and you find yourself with shit, $50,000, $60,000 in the green. Based on what this motherfucker did. This is ridiculous. On nothing. On no news. Oh, man, that would have been beautiful. On no news. All right. 720 Fannie Mae. All right, so somebody give me a stock tomorrow besides VCLE that's going to run hard tomorrow. All right, and when I say run hard, somebody give me a stock that's going to be up 5%, 5% tomorrow. Somebody call, make a call tomorrow because we need some stocks here. Just 5%. Preferably not OTC, but I mean, if you have to, I understand. AMD, okay. AMD, okay. AMD, okay. AMD, okay. When in doubt, go with AMD. All right. AMD is that's a pretty good call. That could possibly happen. That could possibly happen on AMD. Again, AMD has been another one that's been on a tear all year. I mean, the primary trend on AMD has been absolutely wonderful. I've been following this stock for some time, and AMD has been on a tear. I mean, that's been a stock that, again, if I was a patient man, I would have bought 1,000 shares at $5 and just sat on it. But we're not patient men. And, yeah. NVCN? Are people actually trading NVCN still? NVCN, I've been watching. Like, okay, it did break out higher to above that 231 resistance level, and I should have took a look at this. I saved it thinking I was going to come back to it. I never came back to it, and it looks like it did pop out that funnel pretty nicely. So all right, NVCN, EWLL, what's going on? Cruise cuts, EWLL, okay. EWLL, OTC, EWLL. Yeah, that pump has been nice, man. That pump's been nice. That pump's been nice. Okay, EWLL. In fact, I'm gonna write that down. Yeah, that pump is nice. That pump is nice. iFan. I think you and Bill Betts love iFan, man. iFan, look, iFan's been, I can't lie, iFan's been on a tear these last 2 days. iFan, again, penny stock though, so trade accordingly. PPJE, I don't see it happening on PPJE. You know what? Thank you for bringing up SSH KDO, because that surprised me today. You had some shorters caught off guard here on Sunshine Heart, and some people say it could have been some covering going on, but I think there were some people maybe caught off guard here. Now, some people say shorting, stocks under $1 is a waste of time. You got to pay $250 up front, but you got to understand people do it. One investor, one of Tim Sykes' good friends, Michael Good, short stocks under $1. There are people who still, short stocks under $1. In fact, that was one of Tim's big things when he first started, was shorting stocks under $1. All right, so there are people who still do that. So maybe some people got caught slipping here on SSH, but I still think SSH has got ways to go back down. But interesting move today on the stock, though, man. That's 52% gain. That's a big move. That's a big move. That's a big move. HOV, yeah, HOV is the one we talked about. That's the stock that has been running really great. HOV, though, I wouldn't look. We'll see what happens tomorrow. Again, if that Fed rate actually goes through tomorrow. This is a residential home builder. Higher interest rates are not good for home builders. They're not good for financials. All right, so I'm not going to want to be in a home building stock, when the rate does happen. Okay, if it does happen. So HOV, we'll see. IDXG, is that back in play? 11% move. I'm not sure on IDXG. I mean, the bands are tight though, man. Look at those bands on that, man. The bands are tight. Looks like it wants to do something. Those are some tight bands, and we saw what happened when it tightened up the first time. So, are we going to get an opportunity to get in Back over $1 in IDXG on a huge move higher. We'll see. Thank you for bringing that up. Thank you for bringing that up. IDXG. IDXG. Yeah. EWL does have low volume. Thank you for bringing that up, chart right? It does have low volume. So, again, trade accordingly. Let me see here. QTM. QTM is a small company. Yeah, QTM, 500,000 shares. QTM looks a little bit like apps. 30-day. Let's spread it out. What's the trend here? Year-to-date trend looks not too bad here. Could be breaking the trend here. Looking to find some support. This is a slow creeper. I don't know. QTM, man. I'm not sure. Looks like December's been kind of rough for the company. December's been kind of rough for the company, but it looks like this is kind of what it's got a pattern of doing this. But this is a bit rounded than usual. All right, it's a bit rounded than usual. We coming back to test 69 cents or what? 85 cents on QTM. I don't like the chart here, man. It's a little bit choppy for me. Kind of scary. Kind of scary on the long, on the long term. But for the first 5 days, the 5-day chart doesn't look too nice either. So I don't know. I'm gonna pass on QTM, but I will keep it on the list though. I'll put it on the list though. I'll put it on the list though. Personally, I'm not a fan of the way that chart looks. I'm looking for high probability trades. High probability trades to the up or downside. PPR. Don't know what this is. Is that a stock? Voya prime rate. Yeah, I'm not sure what that is. All right, looks like we got a troll in the house. I'm saying here QTM, B-cell, LQMT, liquid technologies, liquid metal technologies. This has been a pump for some time. It's kind of like, the bands again are tightening up on this one too. Decent volume today, man. Decent volume today, so I don't know. We'll see. On LQMT, decent volume today though. 2.3 million shares traded today on the stock, and it averages 1.7. And again, for an OTC stock, that's a good average for an OTC stock, man. LQMT putting up some numbers there. That's pretty interesting. Matter of fact, let's take a quick look at LQMT. I just want to see what their operations look like, what they got going on there on LQMT. Let's see here. It took a little bit long. LQMT, liquid metal, so OTCQB, not bad. What's the market profile here say about it? Leading developer of bulk alloys composites that utilize performance advantages. $220 million market value? Damn. Okay. Now you remember I said that now. $220 million market valuation, trading at 24 cents a share. All right, got some Form 4s here. Let's see what those are. They selling or buying? They're actually buying. Interesting. All right, they're actually buying at 18 cents. So they got it at a discount, a huge discount. 10Q. Let's look at the 10Q here. Let's see here what they got going on here. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Look at, I don't even have to show you anything else. I don't even have to show you anything else. I don't even have to show you anything else. $6,400 in cash. $5 in restricted cash. Inventory of $227. I mean, what a fucking joke. Look at the total liabilities, $5,400. What a joke. Look at that. No revenues for the last 2 years. I mean, this is gross profit. was $11. Bunch of junk. Yeah, CETX. I'm liking CETX again. I'm liking CETX again. Go back to the chart here. Yeah. I mean, LQMT is a joke, man. I just wanted to expose that real quick. Yeah, but I'm liking CETX here. These last, today was really interesting move for CETX. Let's see if it can hold it, man. I mean, CTX CETX was just, it's crazy because this summer was such a great stock. Going back to the summer, June, July, when we first started the show, I mean, I think the first couple episodes are, CETX episodes. I mean, because it was such a great swing for everybody. That along with Sprint and Sprint. Sprint is another one that's looking overweight right now. All right. Sprint is another one. We'll look at that chart in just a second. But yeah, CETX, huge move today. But, can it actually stay up there? Can it actually stay up there? Got some resistance here. It's here. Create the floor there. All right. So can it actually stay up there? All right. And that's the problem with the CETX. And honestly, look, 16% on the stock today. We're not sure about. All right. Not sure about. RNVA. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna put RNVA on the list to watch tomorrow. Love that. I like the way that chart's setting up there. Like the way that chart's setting up there. Flag to the right. The thing about these flags, and I've been studying because I remember Connor brought him up when he talked about it here. Here's the 1 month chart. You want to see the flag also on these longer time. That's not as clear on the longer time frames. And yeah, I mean that's overall very bearish. I mean, this is 1 year for the stock, very, very bearish. So obviously this is not something I would swing. This is not something I would hold for multiple days on RNVA. So this is the primary trend here. Obviously, looking at this stock, it's all about getting in and getting out on RNVA. And it's got to be something that's going to either happen today or tomorrow, or excuse me, tomorrow or the day after that. Otherwise, you could be looking at, finding your way, maybe 15, 17% down lower. All right. How do you identify if a pump is happening? Well, you got to do research on the stock, going into chat rooms, going into forums, sign up for Investors Hangout, sign up for, Investors Hub, go to StockTwits. You should have a StockTwits account. I don't care who you are or how successful a trader you are, you need a Twitter account. You should be on Twitter. There are, great people giving not only just great information, but great alerts on Twitter, and just some little things you'll find on Twitter. It's just like stocks you just would never pay attention to. It's got a lot of bullshit out there. But you should be on Twitter too, especially if you trade OTCs. Especially if you trade OTCs, you especially got to be on Twitter because you got to see what these guys are talking about. A lot of OTC guys on Twitter. All right, and most of these pumping up email sites too have Twitter accounts. So sometimes you don't even have to sign up for their emails. You can just sign up for their Twitters, and they release them that way as well. SVT service team, don't know anything about it. Nice move today, 23% move. FDBL, friendable, 15% friendable. We had Mr. Lloyd call up about friendable. He said this is one of the worst stocks he's ever played. He said this is one of the worst stocks he's ever played in his life. Friendable. TNXP, Tonix Pharmaceuticals. Post earnings coverage, Tonix Pharmaceuticals. Okay, I see some news here on the phase 2 clinical trial results that came in about 5 days ago. So obviously this was responsible for that. Other than that, I don't see anything else happening there with Tonix. Yeah. Yeah, very, very useful. Yeah, Nick. Yeah, you gotta have a Twitter account, man. You know, just for the news, see what people are saying. You gotta have a Twitter account. Great way to connect with people. Great way to connect with people. Yeah, I retweeted somebody who said that Microsoft was looking to buy Sprint. I retweeted that somebody was, Microsoft was looking to buy Sprint, but uh, come to find out, it wasn't legit. It wasn't legit, and the stock really didn't do anything anyway. So on the news, but I did see a couple other people say that as well. But the stock didn't do anything. So it looks like it's all it is a rumor. And Sprint's been a really great short. Got into the eights and thought it would probably touch back into below 8, but looks like it's found some support. But here's the thing about Sprint, though. I mean, the overall trend is very healthy for Sprint. I mean, you got a little bit of a pullback here, but the overall trend is still a lot. Besides the fact that the company's hemorrhaging cash, is hemorrhaging cash. At the end of the day, Sprint is still looking pretty good. So the long-term trend is still very, very healthy in Sprint. And, got the pullback here, but looks like it's trying to wind its way higher. Would I jump in Sprint now? I don't know about that. I think I'll still look for some confirmation if we get back to the 848s. Then I can, look at a possible swing to maybe try and attempt to get back to the high 8s, maybe high 9s. All right. Solid mail list, Twitter accounts. Guys like, let me see who I would probably, Modern Rock, Tim Sykes, of course, Foose, Cameron Foose. There are a lot of the higher end NASDAQ guys. Off the top of my head, I couldn't give you a name. Let me see here, just off the top, taking a look at my Twitter. But there are a lot of good people on there. And of course, I mean, you want some of the slimy guys, especially if you play OTCs. You want to follow some of the slimy characters on there. I mean, Big Money Mike, for example. That guy's real slimy. But you want to follow him because he does, get on top of those stocks that move, man. Big Money Mike. You follow another one. Gosh, who's some other ones off the top of my head? The Wolf of Weed Street. He's another one. He's all about the weed plays. He might be a guy you want to follow. CNBC, of course. You want to be on CNBC. Pete Najarian from Mad Money. Him and his brother. You want to follow those people. You want to follow, of course, what's his name? This guy from Fast Money. Sorry, that was Fast Money. But the guy from Mad Money. What's his name? Kramer. You want to follow Jim Kramer. You want to follow Jim Kramer. So you'll find the people, the longer you get on there, the guys who are, actually, making sense. All right? The guys who are making sense and the guys who are just, spamming. The longer you be on there, you'll find those guys. All right? Because you got the spammers and you got some people who actually, know what they're talking about. All right? High Rising Stock. High Rising Stock is another one you want to follow. Penny Buster 1. He's one guy that I follow too. He's all about OTCs. Penny Buster. Yeah, so I mean, there are a lot of characters on there you'll get familiar with the longer you stay on Twitter. You'll get more and more and more familiar with them. All right, so let me put out my list. Let me put out my list of stocks here. Put out my list of stocks. And I want to put out 2 lists, and this is one for tomorrow, and then what I talked about earlier, the stocks that I talked about earlier, and of the ones that I said were, hella fat that could possibly find themselves, and that they do have some runners in there too. They do have some runners in there too. K's, by the way, is another one. K's is a pump. K's is another shitty pump. Pump and dump that's looking really good though. It's got it's bringing some volume. I'm actually impressed by Whoever's pumping K's. Whoever's pumping K's. They're doing a good job. K's was on our list last night. K's was on our list last night. So K's was a really good pickup for us last night. It was on our list last night as well. Azure. Man, I don't think this would go higher, but this cannot find the volume at all. Azure midstream. I don't know what it is about Azure. It just cannot find the volume. And real quick, if I can see the financials, because if I remember correctly, this was a company that put up like $2 billion in 2012. And I do know that, obviously it came out of bankruptcy. Recent 10Q here. Let's take a look at the recent 10Q. And for Azure, AZUR is the ticker for Azure. And let's look at the financials here. All right, now, here's the thing. This is in millions. So basically, this is they're saying millions. So this is 11 million. All right. So this is a company that's got some solid assets, but for whatever reason, it just can't get off the ground. Or am I reading this financial statement wrong? Am I reading this financial statement wrong, or is that 11,000? Because I've always believed that when it said thousands, right? So every comma was, am I reading the statement wrong? So when I see here total operating revenue, this is 29 million. This is 29 million. Okay, all right, so yeah. So here we have, okay, so 11 million. Okay, I'm correct. So 11 million total operating revenues, 29 million. All right. Total operating income, 13 million, for a net income profit of $14 million. This is a profitable company. All right, it right here in the 10K, $14.364 million. So this company is profitable, but it has a market valuation of $11 million. Can you guys see that? $11 million market valuation. Yeah, I probably can't see when I zoom in like that. $11 million market valuation. Absolutely insane. So Azure, AZUR, Azure is my, if you got some money sitting around, Azure, AZUR is my long-term, just wait for people to get smart about this company. Wait for people to get smart about this company. I'm looking at Azure Midstream Partners as a company that could possibly be an acquisition target for a much bigger company, because we just showed you guys the 10K that it's trading significantly below its current market value. How much cash on hand does Azure have? Let's take a look. Let's go back and take a look at it, because I want you guys to see the same thing I see. And again, this came out November 2nd. November 2nd, 2016. You guys can look it up on your end too. Cash on hand. Let's look at what cash on hand was. All right. Cash on hand was $11 million. $11.154 million. So I like Azure. I like Azure. I know some of you promoters are watching. You want to see what the people are talking about? Go pump Azure. $40,000. $40,000. 40,000. Shares traded a day. You can pump that. Go pump that. Go bring some attention to this stock. You got the financials on your side. The chart is on your side. Go pump this. You know, this is a great pump. I'd love to put these financials on on an email. Say, look, this is a profitable company. It looks good. You know. So, got some work to do. Got some work to do. You know, it's got some work to do. Again, obviously it talked about the decline in commodity prices throughout 2015, 2016 has adversely affected the company, liquidity outlook, blah, 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 blah. But prices are going higher in natural gas. So we'll see. We'll see. I don't want to pump it up too much here, but don't be surprised if that stock is up tomorrow. All right. NDLS. Noodles and Company. Don't know much about this NDLS, Noodles and Company. Never even heard of it. Never even heard of it, Arog Zep. Thank you for bringing it up. It looks very bearish, though. Okay, got a very bearish trend here. So now we got to see, is it breaking that? And looking at the 5-day looks nice. This could be probably the start of something if I can back out. All right. I see where you're kind of getting at. This could probably be the start of something. I do like that, though. This could be the start of something there. Shout out to who brought that up? Orog Zeb. This could be the start of something. All right. We'll see if this, right now, we'll see if this could be the beginning of a new trend. Let's look for some, I would try to find maybe some, confirmation. I think it's, maybe risky to kind of jump in. So let's see some confirmation. Maybe 551. You know what I'm saying? Maybe 6. I'm not afraid to let a stock come to me. You know what I'm saying? I'm not afraid to let a stock come to me. Let a stock prove itself a little bit. Got a nice support price there at $6.56, $7. All right. I like that. Not bad. Not bad. Yeah. AMD, I like AMD going higher. Like AMD going higher. All right. Oh, don't want that. Let's see here. Just take a look here. End the show here with GBSN. Yeah, I'm okay on that one. I'm all right on that one. So let me put out our list for today. These are some stocks that we talked about here. Why is GLF? Why did I write GLF down? Okay, yeah, GLF. Yeah, GLF. Nice play today. Whether or not it continues or not. GLF was actually something I was looking to short based on what it did today. So these are the stocks we talked about possibly tomorrow. What if Azure is reporting its market cap as cash? Why would it do that? You can't report your market cap as cash. I mean, it's cash on hand. I mean, this is reporting your market cap as cash would be the most. It wouldn't even work. Like, it wouldn't add up. And plus you would have to be the most inept accountant ever. I mean, no one would let you get away with that. All right, so that's the list for tomorrow, and this is a list of the stocks that I talked about earlier in the show today. Stocks that are up big time on this Trump presidency, or President-elect Trump, and could be, really, really great shorts when a market correction comes. They could be really, really, really great shorts. All right, those stocks are up really huge. I'm not sure whether or not they have options on them. I didn't even look at options, honestly, on any of those stocks. But they are stocks that really haven't corrected at all, for the most part, since November 8th. And some meat's got to come off the bone in some of those moves. I think I showed you guys a couple stocks that were up, $11, $12 in 30 days. That's insane. I mean, that's a lot. That's a lot. All right, and history tells us that the market will correct itself in due time. It always does. All right, in due time, it will correct itself. So you guys know I'll be back here on Thursday. Be back here on Thursday. Wednesdays are my days off. So I'll be back here on Thursday, same time, same place. I hope you guys have enjoyed the show. I hope you guys have enjoyed the show. Got some great tickers, some good ideas of what's out there. All right. This show is not to teach you how to trade, it's to show you what to trade and what's trading right now. All right. You're supposed to do that studying and all that on your own time. You come here to get the tickers so that you can exercise that knowledge, which I hope you've been studying. All right. If you need some tickers, of course, all the great info we give here. happypennystocks@gmail.com. Join the Discord room. Go to the Discord room. The Discord room. I think somebody's got the ticker for that in the Discord room. Join us there in the Discord room. And for those, if you don't have those videos, you can get them there as well. You can get those there as well. Guys will be more than happy to give you all the information you need in the Discord room. If you don't know what that is, that's basically a chat room that guys are in all hours of the day. And they will be more than happy to help you. Let me see here. Learn how to trade and get what you need to trade. Okay. By the way, does everybody have the How to Make Millions? Everybody should have How to Make Millions by now. I know I've given that over several times, and that's the link to the Discord room. That is the link to the Discord room. That is the link to the Discord room. So go ahead and join us in the Discord room. I won't be in there tonight. I'm practically never there. I'm working on a lot of my own things. But those are where guys who love to trade, find themselves before the show, after the show, Saturdays, Sundays, whenever you're bored. There are going to be some guys who are going to be talking about some stocks in the Discord room. All right. Okay, you say you don't have the How to Make Millions? Okay. The How to Make Millions. All right, so there's the link right there to How to Make Millions. You're probably going to have to sign up for one of the accounts. If you go to that website, you scroll down, there are two separate links. There's the K2S, and then the Nitro Flare. Just get the cheap Nitro Flare account. Just get the cheap Nitro Flare account. I think it's like $10 or something like that. It's a trial for like 2 days. Get the $10 account. That's for 2 days. It's non-reoccurring. Download every single one of those, and you'll have the whole DVD. You'll have the whole 8-hour DVD, How to Make Millions. All right. Again, don't hate the player, hate the game. This is available on the internet. I do not own it. Okay. It is what it is. I would love for everybody to buy his stuff, but again, I'm not spending $1,700 on a DVD, bro. I'm not doing that. I don't give a fuck how much it's gonna pay itself back. I'm not doing it. Especially a guy like me who's into, I got my network marketing and other SEO stuff I do. I'm not spending $1,700 on a DVD, dude. You know what that can get me on Google AdWords? Do you know what that can get me on shit just out here in life that I want to buy? That's front row at the fucking Pistons, front row at Milwaukee Bucks, front row at the Heat. Well, now, fuck a DVD, dude. I'm not spending that kind of money on a DVD. You saying the Discord expired? Ah, shit. Is anybody hey, Bad Scientist, do you have a link to the Discord room that you can put up? Let me see here. I should be able to make a quick link real quick. It said, hold on here. I should be able to make one. Let's see here. All right, so here's, boom. Let me make, there it is. So this link should never expire. I'm about to type it in right now. There. Thank you, Mag. Okay, thank you, Mag. Appreciate it. You got one email. Okay, there it is. So those links, Mag's got it. There it is, ladies and gentlemen. Join us in the Discord room. Hey, Mag, did you get the tickers? Did you get those tickers? I'm going to post them up too in the Discord room as well. Okay, I don't want to make it too long here. Looks like it spreads all the way out. But yes, indeed. Make sure you get that. Okay, appreciate it. Okay, great, Matt. Great, great. All right. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Yeah, I gotta actually finish that one, man. I gotta finish that one, man. I gotta finish that one. This is a lot more information than I thought it was. I gotta actually finish that one because I want to make it as good as my other one. You know, how to build business credit and stuff like that. It's got to be real detailed and shit like that. I can't half-ass that one. All right, you guys just coming in. I'm headed out. You guys are just coming in. I'm headed out. So I'm going to type in the tickers just one more time. Again, these are the ones that we talked about today. These are the ones we talked about today. And then the ones that I talked about how had, you know, so much fat on their bones. That's the ones we talked about. Not the BBVA. That's an old ticker. Yeah, I'd probably take that one out. And then this one that we presented, the old ones, these ones that are up huge and could have some fat on their bones. All right? Could have some huge fat on their bones. So again, ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys for joining me. It's been a great 2 hours to talk about my favorite thing, penny stocks, and some higher price stocks too. Some higher price stocks too. So I really hope you enjoyed the show. Please tune in again on Thursday for Thursday's show. Really hope you enjoyed yourself and got some great tickers to look forward to trading here in the near future. All right. So thank you guys for joining me. Everybody in the chat room, more peace. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate that. More peace. Mace Ingle, man, got to catch me earlier. You said when you would get live trades, when you pay some money. When you pay me some money, you can get live trades from me. You don't get live trades from Tim Sykes and you pay him money. You don't pay me anything. Pay me some money. Yes, indeed. Lee Yu, Chevy Nova, Fotis, Nick Flips, Gregory Hall, Bad Scientist, man. Thank you so much. Oakland in the house, Mike Jebs, Jeff Thayer, Dwayne Duvall, Lee Yu. I really appreciate this. I mean, this is I've been making good money doing this show because of the tickers that I get. The ones that are inflated or not. I mean, you can't not make money, you know, watching this show. You know what I'm saying? Because you always got the stocks that are in play. You always, every day. We always got the stocks that are in play, man. They're right here on this show. That's why I'm going to keep doing it, because it's helped me on my trading. Because now, you know, I do my searches, of course, you know, my screens. But at the end of the day, you know, knowing what's hot on OTC, knowing, you know, what's hot after hours, you know, those are ones that screens don't really get. And there's some stocks here that screens don't find. You know, not a lot of screens will let you down. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Appreciate it, man. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Appreciate that, Money Stay Woke. I'll see you guys back here Thursday. Take care, everyone. Later.